Hi guys, Rowan here. I just wanted to share a bit of a video now. I know I haven't done it for a long time, but we're celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. Every 10 years we come back to where we have our honeymoon. We come back to Tasmania, and we're in Cradle Mountain at the moment, and we've been travelling around Tasmania in a bit of a retreat. But Deborah and I have been discussing what holds a marriage together. This is quite a good or big milestone to make 30 years of marriage. And people ask me sometimes at work or whatever, so what's the secret? How do you know, people don't seem to last that long. It's, they fall out of love or whatever. Someone asked me that a few weeks ago, and my answer was because people can't define love. They don't know what love is. You see, they look at the Hollywood movies, and it looks like love is mostly a feeling. But it's more complicated than that. It's not mostly a feeling. It has a lot of things. And one of the big attributes is commitment. Love is mostly a commitment. And Deborah and I have just been, discussing, how marriages survive, what principles they're living by compared to the ones where they don't survive. What principles are they living by? And what we've concluded with is the ones that survive are living by the biblical principles. The principles of commitment, the principles of what they're responsible for, the biblical principles are what they're responsible for, and these principles are conservative principles. If the people that think in a far left way or even just leaning left, they're mainly the principles they're living by are left principles, and they're not biblical principles. And with the left, anything goes. You accept anything. But with conservative principles or biblical principles, even if you don't believe in God, if you live by the principles, they're conservative. And then you know how to judge things. You know there's a basis of how things are created. You know that where the value is and what's your responsibility, what to accept and what not to accept. And this is increasingly how we've been living in our marriage with Deborah and I. We do go through really hard times, and we go through really good times. We've made some mistakes, but we've made some really good decisions also. And these decisions are things, I've been able to recognise things not to condone. Even if it's within the family, you've got to look at, do you just accept anything? Or do you say no to things? Do you just accept bad behaviour? Or do you say, no, that's not acceptable, we're not going to accept that or condone that? And so the principle we've increasingly been living by are these biblical principles of knowing how to judge things, knowing how to analyse things, knowing what to allow and what not to allow, and also accepting how we hold each other accountable. We hold each other accountable because if people are not held accountable, then that means they accept anything, and that means we overstep the boundaries and do anything, and then life becomes a shambles. We're in control of our lives mostly by the decisions we make. If we hold to good biblical principled decisions, we have a magnificent outcome, an outcome which is designed by the creator, by the manufacturer. And that's how we try to do it. We try to we try to say no to bad behaviour, not condone wrong things. Yeah. Marriage is designed, or marriage was defined long before man tried to define it. Now they're misdefining marriage itself. But if you go back to the original, it's already defined between the man and the woman. And in your vineyard, in your nucleus family, that's what you're responsible for as parents. Responsible for holding each other accountable, for good behaviour, for the right thing to do, and shedding light on bad behaviour. And it's this judgment, it's this way of being able to accept good behaviour, but not accepting bad behaviour. And you know, there's terms thrown around. They get thrown to us too. You know, things like you got to have unconditional love, as though you got to accept anything. But that's a trick. You don't accept anything. You imagine where that ends up if you accept anything. But if you only accept good behaviour and the right thing to do, and the right way to be, the right principle, the conservative principle, then you'll have a really good outcome. And that's how God's designed it for us. He wants us to have a good outcome. So we've been reflecting on these things and thinking about them, and this is what we've concluded. But these days, the whole world, the official line of the world is to accept anything. It's left thinking, to accept anything. They've moved away from what the conservatives or what the biblical way of living is. They've moved away, and they think that's the centre. But they've moved from the centre, and the conservatives are referred to as far-right extremists. But they're not. We're not. We're just holding to how things are meant to be. When you hold to how things are meant to be, you'll get the desired outcome of the manufacturer. And this is how it is. We analyse these things and we see where the successes come from. The things that are shunned these days are the things which actually, if you hold to, you'll have success. You know? And this is what we sort of hold to. And I thought I just want to share that on our 30th wedding anniversary, which was yesterday at the time of this recording. But look into the Bible. Look into the principles. Analyse the principles. Go through the book of Proverbs. Look at what is unwise and what is wise. We discuss these things, and we try to look at things in a wise way. And what is an unwise decision, what's a wise decision. You can't go to university and learn wisdom these days. But it's in the Bible. And we try to embrace all this. So it's not bad to judge things, but you just have to make righteous judgment. You know the scriptures, like, people say, don't judge me, because they don't want light shined on their bad behaviour. That's why they're saying don't judge them. But the Bible doesn't say don't judge. The Bible says examine yourself first. Judge clearly. Examine yourself first. Take the log out of your own eye so you can make righteous judgments and see clearly in order to judge the situation, the family members, the friends, and who you're mixing with and who you're not mixing with. So this is just something I wanted to bring to you on our 30th wedding anniversary, and something to share that we've learnt over this 30 years, and what we increasingly try to embrace more and more and more. Wisdom, judgment, love encompasses all these things. Shun what's wrong and embrace what's bad. Shed light on what's wrong and expose it. Because there is a right way of being. There is a right way of behaving. And a lot of that is commitment to do that. We have a vineyard, our own family. We believe we teach what's right to our own family. That's our responsibility. We do it to each other, and now we even hold family meetings and continue doing that when they're young adults. We have family meetings and discuss all these principles and how to analyse situations, and it's been very valuable for us. So I hope you got something from this, guys. And we'll just continue enjoying our 30th wedding anniversary over these 2 weeks that we're celebrating in Tasmania. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.